This is breaking news from RTV6, working for you.
Breaking news to begin this midday. 3 people have been killed in the crash of a small plane that had taken off this morning from Indy South Greenwood Airport. The Federal Aviation Administration says this single-engine plane went down this morning in Lansing, Michigan, as it was trying to land at the regional airport. The local sheriff's department on the scene confirmed that 3 of the 6 people who are on board are dead. The other 3 were taken to area hospitals. We can tell you that according to the FAA, the tail number on the plane shows it was registered to Greenwood, but we do not know who it was registered to at this time. This is a developing story, and of course, as we get more information, we'll have that for you at theindychannel.com and the RTV6 app. Well, now we want to go to a traffic alert. A major interstate set to close this weekend. It'll impact you if this is part of your interstate travel. Here's a live look at the area impacted where this closure will go into effect, I-65 and I-465. We want to help you plan ahead. Now, this closure goes into effect from 9 p.m. Friday night. It's going to last all the way through Monday morning at 6 a.m. Crews will close all northbound lanes of I-65 between I-465 on the south side up to the north split here downtown. This closure will impact you if you're heading to the downtown area from the south side. Also, only one northbound lane will be open between Southport Road and I-465 during the same time. So if you're a south side driver heading downtown, you'll want to plan ahead. Taking a turn right now to our changing forecast on this Thursday. Here's a live look outside. Not the brightest or sunniest day, Todd, but after all the 90-degree hot, sticky days, we're looking forward to some fall-like feels.
Yeah, and those clouds are part of the cold front that's making its way through the area, Lauren, that is ushering in this change in air mass. Now, there's not much moisture in the clouds, so that's the good news. We're not going to see much more than maybe a sprinkle, but notice the temperature spread. 70 in Peru, 71 in Lafayette, where the front has yet to push into, and there's a little more sunshine. Temperatures still in the low 80s from Columbus over into the Greensburg area, but the cooler temperatures will continue to work their way southward. Here are those clouds. They may look a little threatening here and there, especially the darker, thicker clouds. But again, not much is showing up on radar. Can I rule out the chance of an isolated sprinkle or two? No, but it's probably not going to be much more than that as this front continues to work its way through the area. And if you do see one of these sprinkles, it's not going to be enough to cancel any outdoor plans if you or the kids have them later on today. So essentially what this front is just doing, it's ushering in a new air mass, one that's more seasonal. Temperatures here throughout the afternoon will fall into the 60s in northern locations, mid-70s here in the metro area. Then by the time we get to 6 p.m., everybody's in the 60s and 70s. And by the time we get to 11 o'clock this evening, look at the 50s are starting to appear. Everybody's into at least the 50s tomorrow morning. More on that forecast and a look ahead to your weekend in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. This midday, we're learning more about the fight on the east side of Indianapolis that led to a man's death. This happened just before 6 o'clock this morning on a home on Temple Avenue on Rural Street and Michigan Streets. Officers say 3 people in the area have been involved in an altercation. One of the men was injured by the time police arrived, and that man died at the scene. Police tell us they're still talking to witnesses, and they're hoping to get some more information from anyone who may have been in the area at this time. As a reminder, you can leave an anonymous tip with Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. Well, we also continue to follow a developing story. This is from Broad Ripple. Police are looking for a suspect after a man was shot and killed at a bar in the area. Officers were called out to Connor's Pub near 64th and Ferguson in Broad Ripple just before 3:30 this morning. When they arrived, they found a man who had been shot, and then that man died at the scene. Detectives are interviewing witnesses to find out more about what led up to this shooting. It's unclear if the victim was inside or outside the bar at the time of the shooting. Well, right now, a court hearing is wrapping up in Hamilton County as conservative religious groups are challenging limits placed on the state's contentious religious objections law signed by then Governor Mike Pence. 3 groups claim their freedom to exercise their religious beliefs are being violated. That's because of the changes that were made to the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act after an outcry from critics who said it could be used to discriminate against LGBTQ community members. The lawsuit from the conservative group also challenges local civil rights laws in Indianapolis, Carmel, Bloomington, and Columbus. Those laws include protections based on sexual orientation and gender identity. Today, 3 House committees are hearing privately from the State Department's former special envoy to the Ukraine. Kurt Volker stepped down after revelations that President Trump pressured Ukraine's president to investigate potential presidential rival Joe Biden. His testimony comes as there's new questions about the involvement of Vice President Mike Pence. The Washington Post reported that President Trump used Pence to keep pressure on Ukraine, asking Pence to inform the country's president that U.S. military aid was being withheld until he battled corruption.
I think you should ask for VP Pence's conversation because he had a couple of conversations.
Just about an hour ago, the president told reporters on the White House lawn that he might have to ask China to investigate Biden as well. The Ukraine call is what prompted the current impeachment investigation. Well, 800 first and second graders are participating in the Fire Safety Olympics at Blue Ribbon Pavilion today, and they just aren't learning about fire safety. The students there are also learning about life-saving skills like pedestrian safety, car safety, plus tips on how to live a healthy lifestyle. Captain Athea Henderson is helping to organize this event, and she says that she's most excited about the theme this year: not all heroes wear capes.
So our focus is letting children know that, they're a hero. When they prevent something bad from happening, they're a hero. So when they buckle up, they're the hero that day because they can prevent something bad happening to them.
The Indianapolis Fire Department has been hosting this event since 2000, and they tell RTV6 since then more than 1,300 students have received this life-saving training. Since they started the training, they've seen a 50% decrease in fire-related deaths in children. Well, it's the hug that is resonating with so many people today. Later here on the news at noon, the emotional response from the family member of a murder victim to the woman who's going to prison for that murder.
History has its eyes on you.
Well, don't throw away your shot to see one of the biggest musicals of all time. Next, we reveal the day you can get tickets for what will be the must-see show in Indy this year. Todd.
And Lauren, as you well know, it's been a record stretch of heat across central Indiana. Well, look at the temperatures overtaking the country. The 90s are getting pushed off to the east. The cooler, more seasonable weather is returning to central Indiana and the Midwest. We'll talk all about it in your Storm Team 6 forecast. You're watching the news at noon right here on RTV6.
New Grey's Anatomy tonight on ABC.
It might be the most popular Broadway musical of all time, and in just a few months, it's finally coming here to Indianapolis. Hamilton is part of this year's Broadway and Indianapolis series. It might be the most popular show in this upcoming series, I would imagine, and you can get your tickets very soon. So we have Matthew Porter with Broadway and Indianapolis here with us today about this big announcement. Matthew, thanks for being with us here
Thanks
today.
for having me. I'm very popular today, too.
Oh, yes, of course. And we do want to talk about this show, Hamilton. A lot of people want to see this show, right?
Absolutely. So Hamilton was the big Tony Award winner, of course, and a lot of people know about it, of course, but it tells the story of our founding fathers and Alexander Hamilton, and it is by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It is a brilliant piece of theater. I think people are really going to be happy with the production here in Indianapolis the 10th through the 29th at Old National Center.
Okay, perfect. And we know that tickets are going on sale soon. When can people start buying those?
Okay, so tickets go on sale October 17th. We're giving a 2-week window for people to make their plans.
Okay.
We just want to make sure that people know that they will buy on Ticketmaster.com or at Old National Center at the box office, 10 a.m. on October 17th. Ticketmaster.com is the official ticket source for Broadway in Indianapolis and Hamilton especially. So there will be fraudulent tickets out there and inflated scalp tickets out there. So we just want to make sure people are aware.
Okay, perfect. And I was saying we are anticipating this show will sell out, but you're saying there are still a lot of opportunities and a lot of shows that people can get tickets to this.
Yeah, absolutely. So the show is here for 3 weeks. Subscribers, which were at an all-time high, close to 12,000 this year, are mostly in the first week. So the first week is pretty well sold, but we still have 2 weeks after that, and a lot of tickets to be had by other people. So.
Yes, definitely. Well, Broadway in Indianapolis, so cool that we can bring all of these shows here to our great city. So Matthew, thanks for being here, talking with us about Hamilton. it's almost time to buy those tickets. So mark that day on your calendar. We have all the information on the screen right now. We appreciate you stopping in. Well, there was all kinds of emotion in this courtroom just before the sentencing of a former police officer for murder. Next, more on the incredible moment, this moment here between that ex-cop and the family member of a murder victim. Plus, October is here, and that means it's time for haunted houses, too. And just ahead, one haunted house in town that is built for the entire family. Plus, let's take a live look outside right now from our Weather Now camera. You can see some clouds overhead, and Todd Clausen is breaking down what that means for us and our temperatures here in central Indiana. We'll have that coming up right after the break.
And Keller, right now.
This is RTV6 News at Noon, working for you.
Good afternoon, I'm Ted Rollins. Former Dallas police officer Amber Geiger woke up in jail this morning as she begins serving a 10-year sentence for murder. Geiger was sentenced by the same jury that found her guilty for killing 26-year-old Botham Jean in his Dallas apartment last year. Jean's younger brother Brant addressed Geiger with an incredible victim impact statement that ended with a hug.
I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please? Please? Yes.
After that, there were more hugs. First from the judge to the victim's family. Then, in another incredible moment, the judge gave Amber Geiger a Bible and another hug. We will have reaction from Dallas throughout the day on Court TV and updates from a doctor murder trial that's starting in Florida. That's the latest for now. Now back to you.
Well, you can learn more about other court cases all around the nation right now at courttv.com. We do want to take a turn to our forecast back here at home. A live look from our camera on top of the pagoda looking back towards the city skyline. And Todd, are we finally putting the 90-degree temperatures in the rearview mirror?
You know, I think at least, the next 7 to 10 days, we're looking at temperatures that are more seasonable. And then once you get beyond that, really hard to get 90-degree temperatures in here once you get towards October. So lost in all the talk about the heat the past 3 days where we set record highs has been how dry it is, especially in southern locations. So this drought monitor is updated every Thursday morning. So the new update has included a good chunk of southern Indiana here under the moderate drought, abnormally dry through the metro area and points to the north. And really going forward in this forecast, there is not a whole lot in the way of opportunities for rainfall. Really, Sunday is the best opportunity for a few isolated storms. It's not out of the question there could be a sprinkle or two this afternoon now that this cold front is starting to work its way in. Still holding on to some sunshine here to the south and east, but overall it's going to turn into a partly to mostly cloudy afternoon. Don't be shocked if you see a sprinkle as that front comes through, but it's barely going to be enough to even wet the ground if you see it at all. So it's nothing to really worry about, nothing to cancel any plans over. Just don't be shocked if you're driving around and there's a drip or two on your windshield. And here's the view from downtown off towards the west, and you can see the clouds that are in place. 76 degrees. Good indication, or a positive indication, I should say, that the front has now made its way through Indianapolis as the winds are now out of the west-northwest. This morning they were out of the southwest, so that change has taken place. So this temperature will continue to drop here throughout the course of the remainder of the day. The heat, the 90s, getting pushed further and further off towards the south and east. And we're replacing it with these cooler temperatures, which will continue to filter in during the course of the day. And we're probably getting into the upper 40s and low 50s by the time we get to tomorrow morning's commute. So where the sun's shining, still in the 80s, where the clouds are thicker and that front has now passed 69 in Crawfordsville, 71 in Lafayette. Once the front is through, your temperatures will not go up any further throughout the day. In fact, they'll start to fall. So 70s to the north, still some 80s here this afternoon off towards the south and east. By this evening, everybody's falling from the 70s into the 60s under a mainly clear sky. And then for the overnight hours, 47 in some of the outlying areas. It gets chilly to 52 degrees in the city. And then tomorrow's a beautiful way to end the work week. Very seasonable day. Mixture of sun and clouds. High temperatures in the upper 60s. We are in great shape for high school football tomorrow evening. For the weekend, Saturday 73 with partly sunny skies. And then the chance of a few spotty storms on Sunday with a high temperature of 73. And looking ahead even further into next week, if you're a fan of fall, you'll like these temperatures. Highs in the 60s Monday and Tuesday with low temperatures in the 40s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. When you ring the bell at the front desk of this hotel, you might be a little scared, but it's the Children's Museum, so you know it's probably going to be pretty adorable, too. The museum is back with its 56th annual haunted house this Halloween season. It's called the Hotel of Spells this year, and as always, it's put on by the Children's Museum Guild, and we're joined by their head witches. We have Katie Pastorini, is that Pastorino?
Yeah.
Pastorino, and Jen Sutton right here with us, and you guys look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having us.
Yes, talk to me a little bit about the Hotel of Spells, what kids and families can expect to see.
Okay, well, this year our theme is it's a haunted hotel.
Okay.
It's a spooky place to stay that's run by a witch and her staff of Halloween characters and some very ghoulish guests, and there's a little bit of magic and mayhem in every room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very exciting, and we know that October's a time for haunted houses, but for the little kids, we want to keep this fun and not too scary, right? So this is great for the whole family.
That's right. Well, we have a little something for everyone. So our IPL lights on hours are for children who scare a little bit more easily. The lights are up. We play upbeat music.
Okay.
There are spooky props in the haunted house, but the haunters are pretty much dressed like I am today, and it's a trick-or-treat experience throughout the haunted house.
Great.
Absolutely. And our frightening hours are for those who dare to be scared.
Okay.
People will jump out and the costumes kind of poof into a more green face and masks and scariness, but it's still fun. No one will ever touch you at the Children's Museum. It is for children after all, but
yes,
be prepared to be scared.
That's
okay,
right.
I love that. Tell me, when does this all kick off and when can people go and see the hotel?
Our opening day is October 11th, but we have a fun weekend planned.
We do. Absolutely. So this weekend is our opening event. It's called the Black Hat Bash.
Okay.
It's Saturday the 5th. Tickets are still available at childrensmuseum.org. It's a wonderful event for the entire family. Costume contest that we see some incredible costumes. Entire families dress up together in theme. We have DJ BK there spinning the ghoulish records that he has. We have a lights on and frightening hours through the Hotel of Spells that evening, and restaurants from all over Indianapolis bringing local treats.
That's really fun.
Exciting. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us here today, dressing up
you.
and bringing all this stuff. Looking forward to seeing this at the Children's Museum.
Join us.
Perfect. All right, stick around. We'll be right back after this short break. It's Thursday, and that's the day we throw it back, pulling up some goodies from the RTV6 vault. So when was the last time you opened up a phone book? Thanks to the internet and cell phones, it's probably been a while. Well, the phone book was once a staple here, and when the new phone book came out each year, it was big news. Channel 6 covered the fall tradition just about every year. In fact, the arrival of the new phone books was the very first story for our reporter Barbara Lewis when she started with us in 1987.
So now that you have your new and improved book, what do you do with your beat up and battered book? I took a very unscientific survey to find out.
I save them for short television news anchors to sit on.
First, I make sure all of the coupons are out, and then I throw it away.
I save them, and then I take them to parties, and I tear them in half.
Well, 3 decades ago, there was 400,000 total listings in the phone book, but by 2009, AT&T stopped automatically delivering the white pages, even though you could still request a copy if you're old school. The very next year, 2010, AT&T told us only 2% of the customers actually requested a phone book. I think the last time I've used one of those, Todd, was for starting a fire.
You know, get it going.
Bonfire, getting it going.
You know, my first memory of the phone book, my grandma used to babysit while my parents bowled on the weekends.
Yeah.
I would watch the Golden Girls, and the oldest Golden Girl would always sit on them so she could see to drive the car. So that's my first memory of the phone book, which now thing of the past. All right, the cold front's moving through right now. 78 with partly to mostly cloudy skies this afternoon. I have only 69 tomorrow. We're in the 70s for the weekend, but definitely more of a fall-like feel in the days ahead.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us and making RTV6 your choice for news. We'll be back right here for the news at 5. We hope you have a great Thursday afternoon.